Welcome back to the Turn the Music podcast. My name is Kyle. We have another artist spotlight this weekend. We're going to be talking about Christone, Kingfish, Ingram, and to discuss him, we have Chris Dogbone. You're not Chris. You're CJ.
What were you trying
I was
to do?
trying to do a Kingfish Ingram thing for your name, so I came up with Dogbone on the fly.
Dog.
It's like that Seinfeld episode where George tried to call himself, get his nickname to be T-Bone.
Yes.
So.
Please don't use D-Bone. No,
How are you, sir?
good. I'm glad the week's over.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. We're recording a few days later than we normally do because it's been.
We are.
And I had dental work, so I would have been like, how's everything going?
Yeah, I mean, you can't talk without dental work. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. It would have
been a lot worse. So.
It made me think of, did you watch The Cosby Show growing up? Okay. Mm-hmm. There was an episode where he accidentally numbed himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like for a good part of the episode, he was like, KB, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I was the first day on Wednesday when I walked out. I was like, I got home. My son goes, "What's wrong with your face?"
People ask me that all the time. What's wrong with your face?
What's wrong with your face? Yeah.
So there was an episode of Impractical Jokers, and one of the punishments was they put Novocaine in one of the guys' mouths, and he had to give like a speech. So they would they put all sorts of crazy like B words in there because he couldn't say the B words, and
yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun.
Well, I had also done on Thursday, and I like the dentist very much, but I think like she did the topical Novocaine to put the needle in on the top, but she had to put it on the bottom, and she forgot, so she stuck the needle on the bottom. So thankfully, it wasn't that bad, but this was the first time that my tongue went numb on that side of my mouth. So not only was it numb there, but my tongue was gone. Like I
gotcha.
They're like, goodbye. I'm like, goodbye. I felt like Cartman from South Park.
Oh man. So what are you listening to? Anything good?
Actually, when we were talking about what we were doing this week, I started listening to some of the Kingfish stuff.
Oh, cool.
And a lot. My son has been really into Daft Punk lately, so I've been listening to a lot of Daft Punk because of him, which is fine because I like them. I like their Random Access Memories album. So a lot of that, like kind of like that's been the mixture, and my audiobook. But I've been squeezing music more in more during the week. So, nice. How about yourself?
So Corey Wong came out with a new album. We listened to that on Friday. It's really good. It's got the Metropole Orchestra on it. So I've been listening to that. That came out Friday.
Is it a live one or is it?
No, it's studio.
Yeah.
And then I did find a live album last night. I started listening to a little bit today. I thought we'd play just a little bit of it. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
I ain't slept in 7 days, haven't eaten 3. Methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. My tweaker friends have got me to the point of no return. I just took the lighter to the bulb and watched it burn. This life of sin has got me in. Well, it's got me back in prison once again. I used my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. Well, if I would ever listen to what Mom and Papa said, I wouldn't be locked up in prison, trouble in hell. But I took that little pop and sucked into my mind was spun. I got 20 years to sit and think of what I've done. This life of sin has got me in. Well, it's got me.
So I know you can see that probably, but that's Billy Strings. Fantastic guitar player. But he had a live album came out 2 weeks ago, and I just found it, so started listening to that tonight. So.
I'm assuming he's banjo too.
He is. I think he's mostly guitar, but he's played with like Christone and a whole bunch of other people.
Okay.
What was the song? It popped up recently on my YouTube. Let me see if I can find it quickly while we're doing.
Is his actual name Billy Strings?
I think it's a stage name, but I don't know much about him. Is it Corey Henry too? I think it is. Yeah. So there's a live the performance. That's the word. With Billy Strings, Chris Steele, and Corey Henry. And I'll play a little bit of this one. This is a fun one too. You'll probably recognize this song.
We'll do one more for you, and let's turn the PA. Let's turn the PA completely off.
So anyway, that's Chris Steele, Billy Strings, and Corey Henry live at Lincoln Center. So
that's awesome.
Doing "I'll Fly Away."
So his name is William Lee Apostle.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. It would be cool if his name was really Billy Strings, though.
That would be cool.
It is plausible. I mean, it's just
yeah.
I mean,
all right. Shall we get to a little Kingfish?
Is he little?
He is not little.
He's a big dude, right?
He is a big dude.
But he's young.
He is so young.
I didn't realize how young he was.
Yeah. So he was born in 1999, which makes him 24 years old. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of stuff out because he's only 24.
Right.
Originally from Mississippi. Grew up in the church. Some of his influences, Robert Johnson, Lightning Hopkins, who I don't know actually. B.B. King, Muddy Waters, and Jimi Hendrix and Prince. So that's quite a range of guitarists right there.
Yes.
And then he was taught to play by Perry and Richard Chrisman at the Arts Education Program Museum. Where is it? Perry gave him the nickname Kingfish after a character in the sitcom Amos and Andy Show. So he's named after that. And if you look at the two of them side by side, you would understand why they named him Kingfish. So,
that's funny.
But yeah, he's from Mississippi. Been playing gigs since he was in 7th grade. He's got 3 albums out and a whole bunch of singles which are on those albums. So, and a live album. So, probably going to be a fairly short episode because, there isn't a lot of stuff yet because he's so young. But one of the things that I think is you really need to listen to is when he starts first off playing and then singing, he is not a 24-year-old. We've talked about this a lot where, especially the blues players, they tend to be a lot older than their age. He is one of them. So the first song is called Outside of This Town, and this is off of the album called Kingfish.
This town tomorrow. I got many places to see and many places to go. I'm so tired of doing the same old thing. lucky star. Want people to remember my name. If you don't understand, let me break it down. I know that there's life outside of this town. That I see every day. Don't plan on moving forward, stuck in the same old place. But that's not the road that I want to go down. I gotta do what's best for me. Ain't no hanging around. I could stay here forever.
So much like the likes of Hannah Wickland, a lot of his fame came from viral videos on YouTube and stuff like that. So I will link his YouTube channel in the description as well, because he does. And I would just encourage you to do a search of his YouTube videos, because there's a lot of stuff that's not on his channel, but just recordings of his videos and stuff. And I think he's a great performer in a recording, but I think he really shines in his live performances.
And you came across him through?
I've just heard the name through, just through my travels, and there is a guy at work who every time I walk by, he's watching a Kingfish video.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, and it's like I walk by and I go, I gotta go listen to it. And finally one day I went back and I was like, oh, that's why he's listening to him.
Right.
So it was kind of in my face a lot. So this album actually was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Traditional Blues Album.
That's awesome.
So that came out in 2019. So he was 20.
20. And
And
got nominated for a blues album.
Yeah, Grammy.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't play blues, but I feel like you got to live a little.
Yeah.
To kind of have that mixture of heartache and stuff in your playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he didn't have a heartache of a young childhood, but he definitely has a soul of somebody who has been around.
Yep. Next album is called Been Here. Next song is called Been Here Before. Oh no, I did it already. Song
Boom.
number 2. Ugh. I'm awful.
Some days I feel so different. It's like I don't fit in. Some kids like the greatest hits, but I dig Guitar Slim. Some days I wake up grateful. Some days I'm not so sure. I can still hear Grandma saying, "Child, you've been here before." I don't know where I came from or how I got this way. Mama said the sky lit up with lightning on my birthday. I've always been different. There's one thing that's for sure. I can still hear Grandma saying, "Child, you've been here before."
I think that's kind of an interesting line. It kind of goes to what we were talking about, that, maybe all this goes back to the fact that he has been here before and he's remembered some of the heartache that he had from before.
And that's the thing, like even the song, like you said, even that song, it's just his lyrics, because he's one of the lyricists on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was trying to see
And
if there's any information on him.
And I love the fact that he plays acoustic guitar as well. It's not just, crazy guitar, electric guitar stuff. He does, pull out the acoustic, which I love the blues acoustic stuff a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
So he was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. January 19th, 1999.
Yep. Born to a family of singers and musicians.
Mm-hmm. Did a lot of work in the church before he went out and did blues stuff.
He was initially playing drums and bass, and then he got into guitar, and then, as you said, his different influences, and he took classes at the Delta Blues Museum. He learned the history of blues and the basics of how to play them. And then under the tutelage, this is off of his website, under the tutelage of Richard Daddy Rich Crisman and the late Bill Howell and Mad Perry, he not only developed his own playing and sound and style, but he also earned his Kingfish moniker, as you said.
Perry was the guy that named him. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking to see if there's anything. It doesn't. Yeah. It's something that's inside of him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Like you said, he garnered millions of views on YouTube. Okay. He also performed 2 songs in season 2 of the Netflix show Luke Cage.
That I didn't know.
I didn't know that. After the series, lead producers saw one of his videos. The success of Luke Cage led Ingram to perform on an NPR Music Tiny Desk concert. Have you seen that one? Because I know you like the Tiny Desk stuff.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
With rap legend Rakim.
Interesting.
And then in 2020, Ingram was invited back to headline his own Tiny Desk concert.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's another one, like you said, like Hannah Wicklund. He's 24.
Yep.
And he's going to be playing until he's 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. And he's going to get better and better and better and better.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. This one comes off of his album called 662. And this is the title track. This is probably his most well-known song, I think. Take a listen. I've always loved the Mississippi kind of music scene. It's just the stuff that comes out of there is just, whoop, sorry. I hit pause and it didn't pause.
You just have to keep playing it. That's how good it is.
That's right. I just love the feel of the stuff. It's so much fun. So. She calls me Kingfish. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. My question actually, like, what is it? Besides it being fun, is there something else to it? Or
I
is
don't
it
know.
just? Is
I
it
just
just
like
the fact?
I've always been drawn to that style. That
Yeah.
we play like the Rebirth brass band. Back. And there was the same kind of stuff. It's always just upbeat, and I don't know. There's something about it.
It's like Louisiana Delta,
Yeah.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Like it's just as you go further south into that area, it's that stuff. And I think it goes back to we spoke about this briefly. Is like gospel music came out of turbulent times,
Mm.
and I think that's part of it too. With this is what blues are about. You're singing of tough times, but you're also being hopeful of what may come.
Right. Yeah.
And you definitely feel that in this stuff.
Yeah.
In his
and I think because of his ties to the church, you got that gospel feel in there too, and that
yes.
it really kind of rolls everything up into one. So.
Yes, agreed.
She calls me Kingfish.
Walking by the river, runs right through my town. When I started thinking about the girl who's got me down, she called me Kingfish, then she's nowhere to be found. Mighty, mighty river, what's a man to do? Wants me when she needs me, leaves me when she's through. She called me Kingfish, then she's loving someone new.
The feel in his guitar solos is amazing for a 24-year-old, and he wasn't 24 when he recorded this.
Right.
He was 21, I think, when he recorded. Maybe 22.
Well, his debut album was
99. This came out in
99.
2021.
So, yeah.
So can barely drink, and he's putting out stuff like this. But I mean, I guess when you're from, Mississippi, there isn't much to do. So I guess that's what you do is make music.
You get up early in the morning, stay up all night long. You drive 500 miles just to play a couple songs. That's what you do. Yeah, that's what you do. I said ain't no shortcut. That's what you do for the blues. Live out of a suitcase, no time to wash my clothes. I love to stick around, but I got to hit the road. That's what you do. Yeah, that's what you do. I said it ain't no shortcut. That's what you do for the blues.
Strike again. King of segues. What were you going to say before I cut you off?
Nothing. He even his voice,
yeah,
doesn't sound like a 24-year-old voice.
Not at all.
Like, because we've spoken about how the male voice can change, and it sounds like, like, yes, we know it can change in the typical time period it changes, but for a singer, we've discussed that it changes when you get older, usually around your early 30s, like 28, 29, 30. Like, his sounds like he's 50.
Yeah, but not in the way that it's like he's been abusing it.
Just right? No, I agree. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, it just,
there's a quality there that it's a much more
right.
Mature
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like, if you didn't tell me his age, if I didn't know anything about him and I was listening to him, I would assume he was at least close to 50 or 50.
Yeah.
Just because of what he's playing, how he's singing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I threw this one on there because this one struck me because we've mentioned this before when we talk about Joe Bonamassa. When we saw him together, one of the things you said was that he sings through his guitar, and when I first heard this song, like the opening of it, that was the first thing I thought about. So this is called Mississippi Night. This is off of his live album. So we've talked a lot about guitarists this season. And there's a lot of, we've talked about Joe Bonamassa, we've talked about, Eric Gales, and, a lot of them are very flashy players. And I remember someone saying to me years ago, I think it might've been my choir director. Goodness, why can't I think of the guy's name? BB King. Good Lord. The brain is on vacation. But, BB King can take 3 notes and make them sound more musical than most people.
Right.
He doesn't need all the flashy techniques that Joe has and Eric has. And,
right.
He can take those 3 notes and make them so much more musical than most people. I think Kingfish is similar, it's not a lot of fast notes, but every note has a meaning behind it, and there's music in every single note. Going back to the book that we talked about with Victor Wooten,
right?
Every note has a beginning, a middle, and then it goes
an
through its own life. Yeah. I think.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because you mentioned that Tony Coleman, or I think you mentioned that earlier, that he connected with Tony Coleman, who is BB King's drummer, right? Coleman said he was playing the blues the way it's supposed to be played, meaning Kingfish.
Yep.
And then Bootsy Collins, who had been sharing his music online, meaning sharing a Kingfish's, commented how a young child can influence others. So they see him as a child too, because of that. But I agree. I think every note he plays, there's intention behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, oh, I'm gonna just play this note now because that's gonna fit. It's
Right.
this. There's a reason why this is here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's gonna stick with him. I have a strange
I do
feeling.
too. Yeah.
I don't see
I think once you have that, there's no way
there.
it goes away.
Yeah, I think the flashiness of, or lack for a better word, of Joe Bonamassa or Eric Gales, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah, and they still have the
But
musicality too. It's just different.
it's just they like it, and that's how they get
Mhm.
their music out there. Whereas
Yep.
he's like, nah, I don't have to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I can make it work.
Yep.
And but that's what you need. You don't.
Yep.
It still blows my mind how I would think, how, we know he's 24 and we're still sitting here going, is he really?
Yeah, I know.
Like, is he really 24?
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
That sounds like a good album though. It's from London. The Live in London.
And there we go again. Guitarists in Europe.
Yeah.
Did
you see, so not to sidetrack for a second, but did you see the opening ceremony to the Olympics? Okay. I know there's a lot of controversy because some of the things that they use, but I don't really give a crap. Whatever, What I loved, and this is what I thought was fantastic, and they made comments about this. First off, they used the whole city. Like, there was something going on throughout the city. It wasn't in a stadium. They didn't just put it into a central city. They played every type of music that the France puts out. Everything from classical to opera to heavy metal to rap. There was one scene where they had, I don't know what building it was. It's a historical building on the Seine River. The heavy metal band, there was probably about 4 or 5 members, were all hanging out of windows of the building. Like, they built a platform off of one of the balconies, and each one of them had a spot. And then they had a ship going past the thing, and the opera singer on the ship was singing Carmen while they played heavy metal in the background.
Interesting.
And what I thought was brilliant was how they were like, it works. And it did. It totally worked. Her voice was stunning. It cut straight through everything. But like, what they were doing with the heavy metal in the background, you're just kind of like, okay, yeah, I can dig it. Like, it worked. But I just love the fact that it was like, this is all our music. Like, we're not just giving you the classical stuff. We're not just giving you the opera. We're not just doing this. There was a gentleman who played, I forget the pianist's name, but he played piano, and it was raining too. So like, the piano's covered in water, but he's still out there doing his thing. Like, it was just, I liked it. I thought it was very cool. And I love the fact they used the whole city, but it's like, we wouldn't have done that. It would have been way too poppy.
Yep.
And I think that's the most, I think that's what it is. Because when you say it, as soon as you said guitar, like, that's what it was like. It was guitar heavy on a lot of it. It's just, it blows my mind.
Yeah, I turned it on for a few minutes last night, and I was disappointed by a few things. One, too many commercials. Like, I turned it on, I had it on 10 minutes, and it went to like 3 commercial breaks. And I was
no, I agree. Yes.
No.
Right.
And when I heard they were coming in by boats, I really expected like the Tri-Wizard Cup, how all the people arrived on the boats, and I was like, oh well, it's not as cool as the movie.
That's just a parade.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But I've been watching a bunch of it today, so I've been watching the.
Oh, the game. I mean, the game's been great. And yeah, no, I'm sure you can easily say this is, but the fact that they used their whole city, I thought was cool. They used Notre Dame, the church, and then they ring the bells after. This was the first time ever in 5 years after the went up in flames. But there were people like strung up to the church dancing, like off the scaffolding and stuff like that. Like, okay, they're like, hey, listen, this is our history. So it was but it does, it makes you really think about how all these guitarists, like, they do so well overseas.
Yeah.
There is, we were talking about it through Spotify, right? And we talk about listeners and stuff. So he has 190,000 followers, but he has 353,000 monthly listeners.
Yep.
5,000 of them are from Amsterdam. 4,000 of them are from Rotterdam. 4,000 of them are from Sao Paulo. 4,000 of them are from Sydney, and 3,000 of them are from Denver. So the top 4 cities are not even in our country.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind.
And you know who had Amsterdam? Amsterdam is one of her top ones. Beth Hart.
Huh?
Beth Hart was Amsterdam was one of her top.
Right. Yeah. So it just this is why we do what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you know, the reaction we had with Beth Hart's episode was like a huge impact for us because we learned so much.
Yep.
All right. We teared off topic of Kingfish, but I feel like something has to be said.
Yeah. All right. So this is another one off the live this is called Rock and Roll.
Give it a round of applause for Mr. D Vibes on the gig. A princess cooking in the kitchen, playing solitaire. She been burning them stacks with the monkey on her back, 'cause daddy ain't there. She been swinging that axe and picking up the slack, and it ain't fair. So I could sell my soul to rock and roll. So I could sell my soul to rock and roll. She made a deal with the angels, so they never let go. So I could sell my soul to rock and roll. When I'm driving down the highway, when I wanna let up, there's an angel on my shoulder with a sweet tea, driving in the old gray one, saying play the song about the heart that's broken, but don't give up. So I could sell my soul to rock and roll. So I could sell my soul to rock and roll. She made a deal with the angels, so they never let go.
It's probably my favorite song on that album. I like that song a lot.
It's a great song.
Yep. And if you're listening closely and you hear a lot of bangs and booms, I think there are fireworks going off. So I apologize for the noise that you might be hearing. But
oh, you brought fireworks for us?
I did. Boom.
That's so nice of you.
Yeah. All right, we got one more. This is called Midnight Heat.
people all around living peaceful. They ain't doing nobody no wrong. People all around doing evil. They don't seem to last too long. We got the time, I've got the place. Baby, you got what it takes. Turn down the noise from the streets and let's make some midnight heat. I just wanna be your lover, wanna be the one that you're gonna need.
So hopefully that is the beginning of a very long career for Kingfish. Ingram, I am excited to have more music come into my earballs.
I agree. And I'm kind of jealous of in August 17th, on Saturday, August 17th, in Grand Prairie, Texas. Slash will be headlining
Mm,
with Christone, Kingfish, Ingram,
mm-hmm,
ZZ Ward, Robert Randolph, then
Mhm.
Robert Randolph and the Family Band.
mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
So let me tell you a little story. I work for the Air Force, and every once in a while we get free tickets. And one of the free tickets that was announced recently was Slash and Robert Randolph,
Where?
right here in Dayton.
Are you going?
They canceled the show.
What happened?
I don't know, but the show was
What?
canceled.
The performers canceled?
All I know is the show was canceled. I got an email the next day that said it was canceled. So
That sucks.
Yeah.
That would have been that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So is Slash like getting together with all these guitarists and creating like
I don't know. It's very possible.
oh, he had an album come out in 2024 and it's called Orgy of the Damned.
Okay.
Chris Robinson, Gary Clark Jr., Billy F. Gibbons, Chris Stapleton, Dorothy, Iggy Pop, Paul Rogers, Demi Lovato, Brian Johnson, Tash Neal, Beth Hart, Slash.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it's a pretty decent
That's
group,
that's quite a group. Quite a group.
right?
Wow.
Of course, we can't play the one with Beth Hart because it's explicit.
Beth Hart and Slash. Of course it is.
Of course it is. That's a Orgy of the Dam is a great title for that.
It really is.
I'm now curious about that album though. Gotta check it out. I mean, good for him. I'm not mocking him in any way, shape, or form. He just has a lot of this different things coming out. I'm like, very cool. Yes, I hope there's more Kingfish coming our way.
I think there will be.
It would be in the sense of music, in the sense of putting out good music, they'd be foolish not to.
Yeah.
Forget about mainstreaming, forget about him making tons of money, because he does not seem like the type of person that's in it for the millions of dollars that he potentially could make. They would be foolish not to put his music out there.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be generational.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the fact that it was in the 2000 to 2020, he comes out each decade, he's going to come out and he's going to kill it. He's going to make it happen.
Yep.
So,
and I'm interested to see how he matures because,
Same.
2 albums is really not a lot to see a career. I mean,
agreed.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here.
Right. Yeah. No. And which direction he goes.
Yeah.
Does he stay with where he's at? Does he go deeper into the blues? Does he veer off? Or does he do like Eric Gales and kind of touch every genre just for the heck of it? And I use genre loosely because I know we're not really into that word, but just the best way to describe it.
So coming up after this, who knows? I think the one after that is a potential interview, right?
Potentially. Yes, I have to set up the time. Going to be speaking to the person this week to see if they are available in that time frame. Okay. And
I'm thinking maybe Billy Strings next week, actually, after hearing that album.
Oh, why not? And then there's also what's her name? Sam Fish. Is it Sam Fish?
Yeah.
You know, I
Mhm.
think we had a list of people, but I think we found a new list that we need to.
Yeah, I just keep finding different things.
Yeah, no, I think, and I
Stanley
want to look
Clark's on the list at some point, but
yeah,
the problem with Stanley Clark is he's got so much stuff to go through. Like just looking at his calendar, I go, oh, I don't want to do that right now.
right. And we had
So-
Rockapella on there, but I don't think we need to do that. I'd rather go
Okay.
through some of these blues artists.
Okay.
And the rock artists that we're coming across. I think that's more important.
Okay, we can do that.
I don't know if that makes sense, what I mean by that, but so Rockapella's known. They're out there.
Hmm.
You mention their name. Most people are like, oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Cool.
with that, we'll see you all next week. Thank you for listening. Make sure you're doing the Linktree things and stopping by for the live streams. And we'll see you next time.
Yep.
See you.